Hello.
Hello, sir. Is this legendary New York Knicks point guard Chris Childs?
Hey, if that's how y'all perceive me, then hey, that's me.
100%, man. What's going on with you, family?
Oh man, just relaxing, man. Just enjoying the day. How y'all doing?
Good,
hanging in there.
Thank you for being on the show. Word up.
Yeah,
it's an honor and privilege to have you on, so thank you for that.
Yo,
no doubt, y'all staying safe.
Yeah, trying to, man, trying to. I just want to salute you real quick. Elio did that for a second, but yeah, I just want to say I grew up watching those Knicks teams, man. And y'all definitely was a staple in my teenage, to my 20s and shit. I want to say I appreciate that. We got mad love and respect for everything you did, all the work you put in, all those teams, and you forever a Knick, and New York is always riding with you, brother. Real talk, you know what I mean?
Word up.
Hey, let me say this. Let me say this real quick. I appreciate that. I was in New York when the East Coast, West Coast was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Cali. I'm from Cali, and they know in Cali, they know in New York. I'm a transplant, bro. I got New York love. I got Cali love. It don't matter. You know what I mean? I ride with either. I'm a Yankee fan.
There you go.
Since I was a little kid, so I'm a New York dude. I'm born in Cali. I'm a New York dude. I'm a Cali dude. And one more thing before we get started, I gotta give a shout out to Lenox Hospital, man.
Mm-hmm.
I know 30 cardiologists there that's on the front line of trying to tackle this epidemic that we're doing, man. And these people are doing an amazing job. So shout out to Lenox Hospital Cardiology Department, New York. Stand down. Let's make this happen. We're going to fight back and get back to being an amazing city that they are in all boroughs. Because, when I came from Cali, man, it was cities. And I got to New York, they said boroughs. And so when I went to these different boroughs, I'm like, oh, snap. This is gangster. You know what I mean? So shout out to Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Manhattan, Yonkers, Long Island, Jersey, man, everywhere, man. I got major love and respect and can't wait to get back. So let's get it.
Definitely.
Yo,
word up. Thanks for saying that,
man. Word up. But this is how we do it, brother. We just
have y'all had anybody else start off the show like this, man?
Nah. I appreciate that, man, too, man.
Absolutely.
Pretty big guest.
Yo, since you mentioned, yes, sir, absolutely. But since you mentioned Cali, take it back to us to the beginning. Bakersfield, growing up there. Talk about the mindset, the culture, you growing up there, and then from there, how that changed you and gravitated you towards basketball. Let's start there, and from there we'll build upon that.
Okay. See, Bakersfield was like the little neighbor from Los Angeles because we was a small city at the time. I was born in 1967, and it was probably at that time maybe 100,000. I don't know the number, but we were a small city. But it was like, okay, we California, and let's see what Cali has to offer. So growing up, I played against older guys. I never really played against younger guys because I was always with my bigger brother who played at Oregon State, was a way better athlete than me, way better basketball player than me. See, my first love was baseball. I was a baseball player. But when everybody in the neighborhood kept saying that you're not better than your big brother in basketball, I felt I had something to prove. So that's when I really got into basketball and would go to L.A. and play against, all the great players that come out of there, the Chris Sandals, the John Williams, all these big-time schools. And they like, dang, who's these kids from Bakersfield? And so I was just trying to put myself on the map. But what happened is that my dad was in, he was in politics. You know what I mean? And so they felt that I was like this Black Panther that stood up for all black people, which I did, because of my dad. And so when I left high school and I was trying to go to college, everybody ran because I protested the SAT and ACT test that I thought it was biased. towards black people. So all the major colleges, we don't want to deal with him. He's like a militant. And it wasn't about being a militant. It was about standing up for something that I felt that was right. So I carried that on into, when I started playing in, college and NBA, and everybody's like, well, you play with a chip on your shoulder. I did, but I also played with the stigma of I'm going to stand up what's right and wrong, regardless, when I'm on the court. So that's a little bit of the history. I can go more in depth of what went on, but that's a little bit of my history.
Well, if you could just
y'all want me to go into
your father a little bit. Yeah, I definitely talk about your father and his politics and how that influenced you growing up, because I think that's fascinating.
Okay, so when my dad was in politics, he always said, stand up for what you believe in, and if you believe something's right, then you speak on it, and whatever consequences come with it, then that's what it is. So when I was talking about the SAT and ACT test, I wouldn't take it because I was like, look, y'all need to change the format of what these questions y'all asking, because economically, we're not able to mentally understand these questions because that's not what we were taught and what we were brought up in. And so they were like, oh, you're just militant, you're causing problems, because we signed a petition not to take the test and this and this and that. And so coming from California, everybody's like, why didn't you have USC, all these big major schools trying to get you, which I did. But once they saw that I was causing, they say a corruption or a problem, then they all backed off. And so once they backed off, once I did take the test and blew it out the waters, it was like SMU came back, Boise State, and UNLV. And so with Larry Johnson and all them, I was going to go to that school. But then Greg Anthony was at Portland, and he ended up going to UNLV, and they said I would have to come off the bench. I'm like, no, I'm not coming off the bench. And so then I was going to go to SMU. Then SMU had John Koncak and a dude named Carl Wright.
Oh wow!
They ended up getting the death penalty because of them. I think it was Dave Bliss or somebody that was a coach. They was paying money to the players. So then the last school was it was Boise State. Then the Pac-10 schools tried to come back in, and I said, nah, you guys didn't stand for me when I was, going through what I was going through. I'm going to go to Boise State. Even though Boise State wasn't on the map, nobody knew much about Boise, but we ended up getting a group of guys that had some success, and I ended up getting in Sports Illustrated I think my sophomore year as the best guard in the West, and that was over Tim Hardaway, that was over Gary Payton and all those guys.
Wow.
And so, it just, GP, shout out to Gary Payton. That's my future in-law. My son is getting ready to marry his daughter in August.
I heard you say that on the interview. That's dope. That's dope. Congratulations, man. Yo, so you cool with GP? People, like y'all cool like that?
Oh, of course. I've known GP.
When y'all go to dinner, does he talk shit?
Oh, he talks shit waking up. He talks shit waking up.